Hello everybody, and welcome to another quick Dwarf Fortress tutorial. In this video, we are going to be talking about making gear for your adventurers, but this is something that needs to be done in Fortress mode. So a lot of the adventurers in Dwarf Fortress are weird shapes and sizes, and when I say this, I mean people like Bombwreck here. Bombwreck is a very talented soldier and a very good armorer. They also happen to be a giant tortoise man. While he is a little bit upset right now, he's currently not a full member of the fortress. He is only a visitor. When you first retire an adventurer in a fortress, they become a visitor. While they are a visitor, they live and exist in the fortress. And after roughly a year, if they are satisfied with their time in the fortress, they will ask to become a permanent resident. Becoming a permanent resident allows them to be assigned to all tasks instead of just basic hauling tasks. If an adventurer is appointed as a mercenary, or somebody who has agreed to join the military in adventure mode, this requires giving gifts or flattering the military captain a whole bunch before asking the military captain to be made part of the militia. Then they can just be simply assigned to the military and are limited in the rest of their duties in the rest of the fort, but can still petition for full citizenship after a year. But this leads to problems. Once you've had these interesting adventurers in your fortress for a while, they begin to get a wee bit grumpy. And one of the reasons they tend to get a little bit grumpy is because their gear starts to wear down. This particular adventurer is an elephant woman, and she has been here for quite some time now. Over a year, in fact, and her socks are getting a little bit gnarly. Well, I would like to make her some new socks, but how do I do that? These are considered large. Dwarves wear small socks. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that. What you're going to do is, if you would like to make socks that are adventurer size, you can click on your clothing shop. Then from there, you can click on whatever material you choose. We have a lot of silk right here. And then you're going to go select your sock. Then once you've selected your sock, you're going to go up here to the right side and click on the magnifying glass. From here, we have three options: specify cloth and specify size. Doesn't matter what type of silk they use, so I'm going to specify size. And then here we can type in Elephant Man. I'm going to click on this Elephant Man sock, and it's just going to be listed as a large sock, implying that it is a larger than normal sock. Now that's just going to be one of them, so let's queue up a second one. Now that might seem a little bit obnoxious, having to do this constantly for every single piece of clothing that they wear. Once a year, for all of your adventurers of this type, you're going to have to remember to make clothing for them. So what I'm going to recommend you do here is you go to this screen, the work orders screen. Now I'm going to assume that you have a manager set up. If you don't, I do have a tutorial on that subject in the quick tutorial series. But what we're going to do is we're going to set up some repeating jobs for my adventurer's clothing. So I'm going to click on the add a job list up here, and I'm going to type in silk sock. Once this screen is opened up, it says 10. We don't really need 10, we only need 2. And also, we only need them to make these once a year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify size and say Elephant Man. Once we've done that, we're also going to make another sock out of silk. I'm going to click on the magnifying glass and I'm going to specify size and say Giant Tortoise Man, which is our other adventurer. Don't mind the fighting sounds in the background. I'm sure someone's just dying in the basement again. So now we have these two large socks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this button right here, the little brackets and the plus and doesn't equal sign. And then I'm going to click on the clock. Now, by default, it's one-time order. Restarts if completed, check daily. We don't want to restart this daily. Restarts if completed, checked monthly. No, we don't want that either. Seasonally? No, we don't want that either. Yearly. There we go. Restarts if completed, checked yearly. Move up one. Once again. Restarted if completed, checked yearly. So now, once a year, we'll get a couple socks made. And this is going to be for both of my adventurers, so they will both have socks. Now, the next thing I would like to check in on and comment on is if you have, say, 5 elephant men in your fortress, you might want to make 4 or 5 pairs of socks per year, just so that you don't run out of clothing for your adventurers. You want them to stay happy after all, so that when you reclaim them and continue playing as them, they're in good spirits and ready to head out into the wilds. This also goes for armor. Just as an example, I'm going to use an iron breastplate. Then I'm going to click on the magnifying glass, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to type in Elephant Man. 10 large breastplates. We don't quite need 10. Let's just make 1, because I only have 1 Elephant Man, and I do need them to make the breastplate. So now it's just a matter of waiting for my manager to set up the order. Currently they're eating. He's a little stressed out, so we'll let him finish eating first. And then in no time at all, you're going to see your dwarves running and making your large socks. Now, of course, keep in mind, when you build adventurers, especially of the animal people variety, you're almost never going to be able to actually find gear for them in the world, because unfortunately they are going to be quite unique as far as being part of factions go, especially if you're talking about metal gear and gear made by dwarves. So the reality of making gear for your adventurers becomes a little tricky. So I would recommend building a fort similar to this. This is Dragonspike, a fort that I'm retiring and reclaiming kind of repeatedly while slowly building up an army of dwarves, and also apparently giant camels. It allows you to have fun dwarves like this. Urist, who is currently stuck at absolute max sprinting speed because that's where I retired him at. And then, through no means of his own fault, became a zombie. And now he just runs around at maximum speed as my captain of the guard, running at light speed and is unstoppable. I kind of want to build a squad like this of dwarves that are undead but also stuck permanently sprinting because there's something about this that's hysterically amazing. I recommend building forts specifically for building gear for your adventurers. This will allow you to have the best variety for your adventurers, as well as keeping them happy when they are not in your fort. And ideally, you'll be able to finally replace those socks for your poor adventurers like this. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this about Dwarf Fortress or Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode, check out both the Dwarf Fortress Quick Tutorials and the Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode Quick Tutorials series. It's been a little bit since I've updated this particular series, but I'm now working on a video on cave adaptation, which should be out in a day or so. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope to see you in the next one.